Just want to give a quick shout out to one of our sponsors, Tech Academy. Tech Academy is a software development boot camp which offers online or in-person training. Their program is self-paced and offers students flexible scheduling. They also offer open enrollment, which means you can start at any time. So if you're looking for a coding boot camp, I definitely recommend checking them out.
Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here. So I got an excellent question. This was a really cool comment on one of my videos. This comment was, John Sonmez, while I understand what you're essentially trying to say, it begs the question, why would your so-called friends who are above your level, he put that in quotes, as you say, want to be your friends? Won't they consider you to be detrimental to their growth and treat you as a loser? For example, why would a roided for success idol like Jay Cutler want to be your friend and mentor when you have nothing worth his time? Life is all about trying to strike a balance. Being ambitious, driven, successful, and all that hoopla is fine, but just like everything else in life, when taken to the extreme, it might be just as bad as being a complete loser who possesses none of these qualities. Fake friends are just as bad as loser friends. And this comes from Jim here. So, I get what you're saying, Jim, and I also get your kind of animosity there. There's a little bit of a, kind of a, I don't know. Maybe you've been burned in the past by people who have thought you're not good enough, and so they've cut you out of their social circle, or maybe you've tried to get into a social circle and not been able to because you don't have anything to offer here. So what do I have to say about this? Okay, so there's definitely, this is a very good comment, by the way. I'm not trying to attack you, Jim, because you've brought up a really, really good point, right? So if I'm telling people essentially like, be careful of who's your friends. Okay, so get rid of the losers and hang out with fly with the eagles, right? Okay, but then you're saying, hey, wait a minute, hold on. So why would these eagles want to fly with you? If they're eagles, if they're smart, if they're applying the same advice that you're giving, then wouldn't they cut the losers out of their life? And no offense to you, but you're kind of a fucking loser compared to these people that are so damn successful. So it doesn't make any sense what's going to happen here, right? So here's the thing that you're missing, and this, I think a lot of people are missing this. Okay, so there's a couple of things. First of all, there are people that are just fucking losers. Okay, they have no motivation, no ambition, nothing that they're gonna do with their life. They're just, fucking doing drugs, potheads, drinking all the time, partying all the time, and not actually accomplishing anything with their lives. They're losers. Maybe they're just watching TV all the time and eating shit. Like whatever it is, they're just not a good influence at all. There's no benefit to hang out with these people. And a lot of people, unfortunately, most people in society and life today are like that, right? But so if you don't want to be like that, you got to cut those people out of your life. And now, I say this all the time, what if they're old friends with their family? They can become acquaintances. It's fine. It's like, I've got buddies that are fucking losers, but I hang out with them every once in a while, right? They're not my constant companions in life. I'm not hanging out. I'm not having tight relationships with them. They're the kind of once in a while type of friendships, and that's fine. It's totally cool. I'm not judging them. Their life is fine. They want to live their life that way. I'm totally cool. I don't judge them. I don't try and convince them that they need to fucking get their lives together. If they come to me and say, hey, can you help me? Yeah, I offer some advice, but I'm not going to throw that out. So here's the thing, okay? So we talked about those group of people, and if you fall into that category, then someone who's successful obviously is not going to, you can't be a loser and be not trying to do anything with your life and then expect to just fly with the eagles. It's not going to happen. They're going to cut you out. They're going to be fucking smart, okay? Now, but here's the other thing. Here's where the category, where it changes, okay, to answer your question here, and I'm serious about this, is that just because, let's take your example of roided up Jay Cutler. I've got his signed picture over there. I used to have it in my background. But okay, so why would he want to hang out with loser John Sonmez, who's just, not even roided up at all? Just not even on his level in fitness. I mean, he's won Olympia titles, right? Won all these titles. I am no one in the fitness space, okay? Well, here's the thing. Maybe, here's the thing. So I have become a successful real estate investor. I've written 2 books, one a Wall Street Journal best-selling book, right? What else have I done? I've created businesses, right? I've created training courses online. I know internet marketing, right? I could probably, I could list a bunch of different things that I could do that I do well, all right? And I'm like-minded in the way of discipline in training, even though I'm not as successful in an area. So you see what I'm saying here is I have something of value to offer someone like Jay Cutler in different areas, okay? Now, I don't have as much money as him, probably not, right? Maybe, although maybe, you never know. And I'm not as successful in bodybuilding, but that doesn't matter, right? And here's the thing is, a lot of the best kind of relationships and the people that you should be hanging around with, they shouldn't just be people that are just better at you at what you want to do or at everything, right? They should be better at you at certain things, and you should be better at certain things. You should have some kind of trade-offs that you've got some kind of mutual benefit. You see what I'm saying, right? So that's the key. Is like I get what you're saying when you're saying, oh, why would these losers want to hang around with you? But I could probably, there's probably some people that there wouldn't be much benefit at all, right? For them to hang around with me, someone maybe like, let's say Bill Gates, he's probably not going to get much benefit. Although I could argue and say that there is definitely some perspectives and some things in life that I've been more successful than him at, of course, right? But he could probably pay coaches and mentors to be around him to give him that. So there's probably nothing that, because he's got so much money and so much experience that I could offer as value that he couldn't buy, right? But that doesn't necessarily rule it out, right? It just might not be worth his time, right? The value that he might get might not be worth his time. So there's definitely, some people like that. But in general, most people that you meet, right, and most successful people, you're going to have something to offer them. And if you don't, then you got to think about your life really hard and say, why the fuck don't I have something to offer people, right? So you got to become an expert in something, right? Figure out something. You got to have something in your life that's worth it. You got to have some level of success, right, in order to hang out with other successful people. But this is how it works, right? Because I get this question all the time, and like I said, I'm glad that you asked this question, because people ask this all the time. They're like, well, how is this possible? If you're saying always hang out with people that are above you, right, and cut out the people that are below you, if everyone followed that advice, then why would they want to hang out with you? And that's where it comes in, is that like you've got different strength, you've got different assets to offer, and you've always got something to offer someone. You should, at least, right? You should have something that you've got to offer. So, I've got a lot of friends that are more successful than me in different areas, and I'm more successful than them in other areas, right? And so we've got a mutual benefit there, right? And when people don't have a mutual benefit, it probably doesn't make too much sense for them to be in a social circle together, to hang out, to be friends, because there's not going to be much much value in that for either person. It doesn't mean that you just judge people by the value that they bring, right? I mean, there's also a lot of intangible values, right? But usually it's going to be things that, like, maybe they've developed their character in a certain way, and you see those attributes, right? It's not just money, it's not just fame, it's not just fortune and outward success, it's also inner success, right? I mean, maybe, think about, like, maybe I have a friendship with a stoic kind of Buddhist monk who has no possessions, who has not, by any measure of the world's standards, achieved success, but has inner peace and tranquility, and understands that, and takes time to experience life at a different level, a different meaning, and can meditate. You see what I'm saying? So that's the thing. It's like you can't really just say, oh, well, this person is successful and this person's not. Success doesn't work that way. Success is a lot about about what you're trying to achieve in life, and there's so many different areas of success in life, right? You see what I'm saying? And even just personal development in itself. But good question. I mean, this is something that a lot of people struggle with. And I'll say one last thing about this, which is that if you're struggling, if you're like, I don't have anything to bring to the table, take some time and really think about it. Like, you probably can benefit just about anyone, right? There's probably a reason why someone would want to have you be a friend, right? Be a close friend. You've probably got some kind of value. Write down all the things that you know, all the things that you can do, all the kind of values that you have that someone would be interested in, and realize that, because you want to come into relationships realizing that you have something of value. You don't want to come in as a leech, okay? You don't want to come in thinking that, and so you need to recognize the kind of value that you're bringing to the table. And you need to be realistic as well. Again, don't try and make friends with people that are so above you in so many areas. There's not going to be as much of a mutual exchange of benefits. People that are kind of at your quote level or a little bit above you in certain areas, that's going to be the best. That's where you're going to grow the most and gain the most, and they're going to grow the most, and it's going to feel like it's mutual, where it's not going to feel like one person is so unequally yoked. All right, that's all I have for you today. If you haven't subscribed already, click that subscribe button below and click the bell so you don't miss any videos. I'll talk to you next time.